Hello, Ms. Staplehouse. How are you?
Well, hello, Mr. Broker. Good. How are you?
There you go. So here we are, episode 4 of...
Yes, Married to Real Estate.
We got a name.
Finally.
Woohoo!
All right.
We're official.
Excellent. And we have some excellent news to share, too. Well, the topic of today is how do you go about buying a new house when you have a house to sell?
Correct. So often we go on listing appointments and we'll go and start speaking with the potential sellers or potential clients, and they'll let us know that they need to sell their house, but they're looking to buy another house. And they are usually a little nervous at this point because they really don't understand the process or their options of what they can do or how they can do it. So during the listing presentation, at this point, I usually back off, get a little quiet, and turn it to the best listing agent in the world and let her explain the options that those clients may have.
You're making me blush again.
Okay.
But can we sidetrack on a personal note since we are married to real estate? Why would someone need to sell perhaps a small house and get a bigger house?
So if their family may be growing.
Oh, really? And didn't we hear some excellent news this past weekend?
About somebody's family growing?
Yes.
Whose family would that be?
Why don't we just bust out with it?
Go ahead, Grandma.
We're going to be grandparents.
Yay!
First time grandparents. Here we are. And not only are we going to be grandparents for the first time, but it's going to be twins. Yes, twins. We're so excited.
Really don't know what to do with myself.
Yes. We're just walking around and every now and then we're like, hey, Joe, twins.
Twins. So anyway, young couple, they're living in a small townhouse. They have one child. The twins are on the way. They need to get a little bigger home.
All right. Excellent.
How would they go about doing that?
All right. So there's many different ways. And of course, I have 5 ways we're going to talk about. So the first way is obviously the most ideal. This isn't for everybody. You need to be in a position to buy the house that you want first and then sell the house that you're in. So the way that goes about is you have funds to put whatever money down that you're looking to purchase. So let's say you're looking to put 5% down, purchase the new house, and you have the ability to not only do that, but you also have the closing costs, and you have all of that without having to sell your house. And that's called non-contingent. So you can buy the house that you want, non-contingent, but then you are getting the house ready to sell the moment you close on the new house, because you close, you move, you get everything done in the house that you want, pop it on the market. Obviously, most ideal.
Yes,
Option number 1.
Yes. However, not everybody has that option, right?
No,
not everybody's in that financial position to do that.
And sometimes people are in the financial position to do that, and they just don't want to. Because they don't, the risk of that is, what if the house does take a little longer than 30 days to sell? And if it does, they are left, holding the bag of now carrying 2 mortgages. So people often, if they are in that position, they just don't want to do it. Mm-hmm. So the most common way is to go ahead and buy a house with what's called a home sale contingency. And a home sale contingency is the most common way. I can say in 2020 and 2021, we just didn't see it. It was such a hot, fast, crazy seller's market that offers were coming in, multiple offers. And if one had a home sale contingency, even though we knew the house would sell quickly, it was just looked over because it was at risk that the sellers just didn't want to take. And they didn't have to.
There was no reason for them to take it, right? They
exactly.
had 4 offers. Only one of them had a home sale contingency. The other 3 would be better.
Right. So it was very difficult as a buyer if you had a house to sell.
Yes, ma'am.
Whole different thing. But now what the market is normalizing, if not normal, a normal market again, and sellers can and do look at home sale contingencies. So most common is you write a contract to purchase the house that you love. You put in we would like 30 days as a home sale contingency, and we do some negotiating. The seller accepts the offer. At that time, you are expected to list your house for sale immediately. And immediately means that day or say within 3 to 5 days.
Correct.
That's all you give me.
I was going to say even sooner than immediately if there's an option for that, right?
Correct.
Right.
And so a lot of times when we are dealing with clients that do want to buy and sell, we're already bringing them out. They're already looking at houses while they're preparing their house to put on the market so that they're not shell shocked. They find the house they love and then they lose it because they are still at least a week or 2 out and the seller's not willing to wait.
Correct. The stager's been there. We've got the house, all the final touches done, and they're ready to go on the market.
Right. And ideally, when this works out, as it often does, Seller accepts the home sale contingency. We put your house on the market for sale. We go through that'll be another episode, everything we need to get done to list the house for sale. And then we sell that house within the first 30 days. Now, selling it means it's under contract. So you want to be under contract. You want to get the buyer of that house to get at least the inspection done so you know it's solid, it's moving forward. And at that point, you release the home sale contingency, and then it drops into what's called the home settlement contingency.
Coinciding settlements.
Which means that you still have to get the money from the house sale in order to purchase the new one. So you're protected in case something falls out at the last minute.
Of the sale of your home.
Yes, correct. And then there's always the fun closing day when you're closing on both. So you're closing on the sale of your house, getting those funds. So you close in the morning, and then you take those funds and you buy the new house, same day closing. All the stuff's on the moving truck. Everything's going on. It can be a pretty crazy day.
Yeah, but it doesn't always have to be that way either.
It doesn't.
We can work in rent backs and other things to buy everybody a little time on both sides.
You stepped right into my point, which was perfect.
Yeah, okay, go ahead.
Yes, absolutely. All right, so number 3. Number 3. That's when you're buying new construction. So when you are buying new construction with a home sale contingency, it all sounds great, right? You find the house you love, they haven't started building it yet, and they're going to accept your contract to purchase, and they're saying, okay, well, we're going to let you sell your house first, contingent on the sale of your home. The only caveat to that is that they won't start building your house until your house is under contract.
Correct. Yeah, and always remember that the builders, it's a market-driven decision by the builders, just like it would be in the sellers in different markets, right? So a lot of times the builders aren't taking home sale contingencies at all, which you have to sell your house, settle on it before you could even write the contract. However, the builders are a little slow right now. Their settlements aren't so full, and they are accepting home sale contingencies again, which is great.
Exactly. And so that's where, because of timing, again, you're looking at, anywhere from 4, 6, 9 months for a house to be built. You can secure the contract with the new construction, and then immediately have your house for sale, get it under contract in the 30 days. But then you're more than likely going to need to have a short-term rental or be able to stay with family, mom and dad, a very, very good friend.
Yes.
Things can get dicey, but you have to mitigate for builder delays and things like that. So looking at potentially a short-term rental or an option to stay with family or friends until the new house is built.
Yes, ma'am.
So, all right. Number 4. So you want to sell your house with a 60-day rent back. And during that whole time that your house is on the market, we're selling it, and we're going to get that contract. Once we get a contract in those, say, first 14 to 30 days, then it's going to take another 30 to 45 days to go to closing. And then you can build in what's called a rent back. So you're asking the buyer to allow you to stay in the house for an additional up to 60 days. And that can really help, and it works when there's inventory and when you know you're going to be able to find the house in the neighborhood that you're looking in. So that can also be a very good option. And then finally, one that's not talked about all that often is that you can list your house and not have found your house yet. And it's called listing your house, and there's a contingency in there that the buyer has to accept, and that's called a seller home of choice. And do you want to tell us a little bit what that is?
So that gives you're the buyer, I'm the seller. So as the seller, the buyer, you've written the home of choice contingency in, allowing me as a seller 30 days to go find my home. And I have 30 days. It's a reverse, kind of the home sale contingency. I have 30 days now to go write a contract and get a contract ratified on my home to purchase. And the buyer is allowing me that time to go purchase.
Right. And why that's important is some sellers are nervous about putting their house for sale. They know it's going to sell quickly, and they don't want to be homeless. Mm-hmm. And we always say homeless clients aren't good for business.
Sure. I think it's one of your favorite lines.
It is one of my favorite lines. So,
however, very true.
Right.
Right.
We do work by referral.
Yes,
we want to
ma'am.
make sure everybody is very pleased with the services. So, and being kicked out to the street wouldn't be one.
Right.
So what that does essentially is at the end of the 21-day or 30-day contingency, if the seller hasn't found their home of choice yet, they go back to the buyer and say, hey, buyer, we haven't found the house. We can now, make the contract null and void, or we ask the buyer for some more time. And it can really go either way, but It's an excellent way to get everything pulled together.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
those are the 5 most common ways. There are also others, but I think in today's environment, those are probably the best.
Absolutely, and that's 5 options in 10 minutes.
Yes.
However, when we come see you, or if anybody wants to talk about this and talk it through, it's more of a half-hour discussion on each one, going through it step by step.
Today was just quick and dirty.
Yes, ma'am.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for helping me explain this all to everyone.
You're very welcome.
All right.
Thank you, Ms. Seawiles.
Oh, you're very welcome.